Welcome to this brief introduction to the Salvo project and leading-edge developments in asset management decision-making. This 10-minute video comprises interviews with core sponsors and participants who describe the challenges they faced, the solutions that have been developed, and the results achieved.
Salvo is a cross-disciplinary and cross-industry project to tackle a very common problem. How do you demonstrate you're getting the best value for money over your assets over their whole life cycle? We tend to work in strict functional silos in businesses. It's very difficult to stand back and demonstrate we're getting total life cycle value for money. But how do we do that? Well, it's taken 3 years to write it down, and most of it is common sense and familiar. But there are some really critical elements we've discovered along the way. That if you get it right, the end result is much more credible, it delivers significantly extra value for money, and we get a hold of risks, we get a hold of the CapEx versus OpEx trade-offs, we demonstrate that we're doing the right things at the right time.
Our clients are increasingly looking for Sodexo to bring to them techniques, processes, to enable them to make better decisions about their asset infrastructure in regard to its performance for their business. We operate over 80 countries. We have approximately £1.2 billion worth of assets under service contracts. The economic challenge facing the world at the moment obviously varies in geography, but equally every company that we deal with has the same challenge. Salvo provides us with a process capability to enable those decisions to be made and to present the information in a way which is understandable for those organisations.
I'm situated in the oil and gas industry. Most of the companies in this industry has been running for quite a long time. And all of us is faced with aging assets. And I think if you really get to know the Salvo process and use it productively for the aging assets in planning what you're doing going forward, it will be definitely beneficial to anyone.
Salvo brought together sponsors from many different industries, particularly to get some practical guidance to apply good practice asset management. Industries being challenged to demonstrate that there is a good economic long-term benefit case for decisions on physical assets.
We put a lot of effort into understanding what good whole life cost analysis is about. Obviously we're controlling a lot of public money, so actually having a good handle on that is very important to us. And we saw Salvo as being an opportunity to fill some of the gaps we've got in our whole life cost analysis.
At the moment, Scottish Water works in a 5-year regulatory period, and we're very much focused on what's within each regulatory period. With the software, we can start to have a look at what is the best use of the money over a 25-year period, taking into account operational costs, capital costs and risk.
At its heart, Salvo is based around 6 fundamental stages. It's organised into what we call the Salvo Smiley, because it involves a top-down drill down into all the various problems and opportunities to improve that any organisation has, followed by a bottom-up assemblage of the right things to do. The 6 steps cover the determination of what problems are worth attacking in the first place, both in terms of their significance and their timing sensitivity. That leads through to determining why it's a problem in the first place, or the characteristics of the problem. And that in turn leads in step 3 to which techniques of several are appropriate for solving them. Step 4 is where we actually do the value for money test. The bottom of the smiley is actually the nitty-gritty. Is it worth doing? If so, when? The individual justifications start building up the other side of the smiley diagram for the best way we can organise the various things that then prove to be worthwhile. So the work programming, the bundling, the blending to find total life cycle value for money. And that finally assembles up the total profile across the assets portfolio about the right mixture of expenditures on the short term and long term, the residual risks that are worth taking and the performance we'd expect.
To answer the economic question, the clients need products like Salvo, which enable better decision making through better data analysis and process approach to determining the performance of those assets and the value that those assets then represent to the business.
We've done now 3 sets of case studies. The one case study was for the TDC 2000, which is a control system, and the question for us was obsolescence. This thing no spares available anymore. So what do? What's the risks of keeping it running? And also the whole process helped us negotiate a contract with the suppliers of the system, meaning we can keep it running for another 20 years from now. If we look at the cost benefit of it, we looked at a capital expenditure of about 608 million rand, which we reduced by 60%.
Other Salvo case studies include optimal painting regime for steel bridges, optimal maintenance of filter screens for wastewater treatment, replacement program rescheduling for 300 HV electric motors, optimising the track grinding strategy for underground railway, 9-year life extension for plastics manufacturing control system, saving 27 million euros, halving the frequency of shutdowns for manufacturing process plants, £700,000 a year savings in maintenance and renewals for different water pump designs and sizes, and optimised life cycles and design options for filter blower fans.
In our organisation, there's a big focus on data at the moment and data quality and how that's impacting our ability to make decisions. So the thing I like about the Salvo approach is that it allows you to test some of those data issues and see what impact it's having on your decisions.
People are now finding out that to work with ranges of decision to see, well, we don't need accurate data. If we do, we know what to do about it. We know what to go and quantify. But we don't waste our time quantifying a lot of information that's not necessary.
My involvement in Salvo mainly has been to validate the mathematical models that underpinned the tool and the processes that Salvo has developed. And I can say with confidence that the tools, although they are very practical in nature, which is a good thing, it is very much underpinned by strong mathematical foundations established by the reliability and maintenance community worldwide.
The innovation in Salvo is not simply something to do with software. More importantly, we've added process and guidance around that to turn it from, if you like, a technical tool for asset managers into a business tool that's easy to use.
First of all, it's a consistency across all different areas. So we're making decisions for different asset areas, fundamentally different assets. So it could be train systems or track or telecom systems, and we're having a consistent approach across all of those.
The other advantage of Salvo, of course, is that because you're processing data within a process system, you're maintaining that data, you can evidence the decisions that you make based on the output of Salvo, and that evidence enables you, from a business community perspective, not only to justify your decisions, but actually audit the result.
There are tools and techniques out there which are very specific for particular industries, built upon particular information requirements and so on. The thing which makes Salvo a little different is it is applicable to many different industries. You don't have to have really sophisticated IT data tools sitting behind this. You can use this with limited information, limited data in a very practical way with people from many different backgrounds.
We've touched something very important here, which is bringing together the people factors and the technical justifications in a process that actually people can understand and navigate. In summary, the experience of the Salvo project is that we've brought together a very flexible set of practical solutions. And moreover, we've proved that they really work in a variety of circumstances. I think we're just seeing the beginning of this. I think this is pathfinder stuff, but the obvious practical application and the real bottom line savings have been spectacular already.
The Salvo processes and modular decision support tools are now commercially available through personal and corporate licensing, training courses, and a network of expert facilitators. So if you would like to find out more about Salvo processes, training programs, or decision support tools, follow these links or call Decision Support Tools on +44 1635 299 200.